China, but we do know that India's state-owned refiners have cut down their purchases of Russian oil, while private refiners have increased.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Thursday, the 16th day of October for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. A lot to talk about on a Thursday. I'm live today already from the Smith Softball Complex, day number 2 of the 2025 State High School Softball Championships. We'll kind of recap the action from day number 1, get you set for what's in store for the second day here today. Both Hastings St. Cecilia and Hastings High will be in action on the air today here on Extreme Sports, so we'll tell you about that coming up. Of course, the Nebraska football team putting together final preparations to play at Minnesota on Friday. They'll leave for Minneapolis today and have a walkthrough at a local high school there in Minneapolis. We'll get some comments from Husker head coach Matt Rule in just a couple of minutes. The Nebraska women's soccer team, they will play at USC tonight. Meanwhile, the Hastings College women's soccer team, they were in action yesterday in Omaha and lost to the College of St. Mary's. Hastings College volleyball team took on the 4th-ranked team in the nation last night, the Concordia Bulldogs, and lost to Concordia at home in 3 straight games. So we'll talk about that coming up. Hastings College football has a tough one with Concordia coming up on Saturday. The preseason polls are out for GPAC women's wrestling and men's wrestling. We'll take a look at the top teams there. Of course, a lot of talk about the softball action from yesterday. Got some high school football coming up tonight. We'll talk about there's an NFL game tonight with Pittsburgh playing in Cincinnati against the Bengals. And the Major League Baseball playoffs continued last night, a big win for the Toronto Blue Jays. So all that and more is coming up for you here today on Huddle Up. And I apologize, I don't have my camera with me today. It was not in the suitcase. My camera is not hooked up, so you won't be able to watch me streaming from the press box with the lights off here at the Smith Complex. So apologize for that. But Tyson Havronic is in the Western Studios. Good morning, my man.
And a good morning. I was just wondering if you snuck in and couldn't find the light switch over at the press box there at the Bill Smith Softball Complex. But studio cameras back at the East Side Studios. We've got you live and on location over at Bill Smith Softball Complex. I was actually gonna send you a text and wondered if you needed me to grab your sleeping bag and a few treats for a stay over at Bill Smith Softball Complex. You had softball well after dark last night.
Oh, yeah, we got into the late night hours last night. Of course, we had the 2.5-hour weather and lightning delay to start things off. About 30 minutes into the Class A games yesterday, we had rain move through, and then we had lightning move through, and we had to, of course, all the rules regarding lightning strikes and things in the area, so we had to sit that out for 2.5 hours. And then some of the Class A games went long yesterday. A couple of them went extra innings, so we fell behind by about 3.5 hours right out of the chute yesterday. When you're running a tournament like that, this is the last thing you want to do is fall behind on your opening day by 3.5 hours. So our late game last night to St. Cecilia and UTAN Meade, we didn't get finished until about 11 o'clock last night. So we were out of here, took a little nappy at home, got some stuff ready to go, and back out here. You're early when you arrive at the ballpark and you come into the press box and you're the one that turns the lights on in the press box. you take your seat getting ready for, we have a 9 o'clock game coming up with Hastings High in Waverly, so you get your seat taken here. You're still waiting for the stadium lights, the field lights to come on, because I know Hastings High is going to be arriving here soon, getting ready for their...
waiting for the sun to rise.
Yeah, and when is it this time of the year? It's got to be in the 7 o'clock hour somewhere, doesn't it?
It'll be here at 7:46.
7:46, the sun's going to come up?
Sunrise at 7:46.
So I get to watch it from high above the Smith Complex today. What an honor. So,
what an honor.
So there's lots going on. We'll have 2 games for you at least today on the day number 2 of the State High School Softball Championships. We've got Hastings High in the elimination ball game against Waverly. That's coming up at 9 this morning, on the air with a pregame show at 8:50. If the Tigers win, they'll play another elimination game later on in the day at 2:30. We would have that one for you as well. Hastings St. Cecilia, they went 2-0 on the opening day of the state tournament yesterday. So the Hawkettes in the driver's seat, they're going to play at 7 tonight against a team to be determined today in kind of the battle background, the consolation round. So their opponent is not yet known, but we'll have a St. Cecilia tonight at 7. So we'll have at least a 9 o'clock game and a 7 o'clock game for you today here on Extreme Sports. And we'll recap the action here in a little bit from day number 1.
Absolutely. State softball underway, always such a magical day, but not when you start off the day with lightning strikes and torrential downpour. The grass parking lot, I heard from several folks that swung in last night after the softball matches were ending. They were off in the grass lot. It turned into a little mud pit playground over there, and that's tough. I mean, it's just one of those things that you can't control with outdoor events in the state of Nebraska. But of course, your window to get those state events in is pretty tight. So the show must go on. And field wise, folks did an absolute bang up job to get that baby ready to roll after the rains came. Of course, with that diamond dirt over at Bill Smith Softball Complex, the way that drainage is, it could pour for 2 inches for 2 straight hours, and that could be ready to go in 30 minutes. So, really shout out to all those folks that helped out, volunteered, and continue to make this into a great event for the city of Hastings.
So again, we'll go today, and by the way, the lights are just coming on.
Hey, there you go.
Lights are just coming on here. Major League Baseball last night.
Yeah.
Kind of a surprise. Toronto, no problems with Seattle in the ball game last night, winning by the score of 13-4. The Mariners still lead that best-of-7 series at 2-1. Game 4 coming up tonight in Seattle. The National League Championship Series will resume tonight in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host Milwaukee. L.A. leads that series 2-0. But Toronto last night, their bats came alive, and they beat Seattle by the score of 13-4.
Yeah, a bounce-back game for Toronto in a big way, in a scoreline that I don't think any baseball pundits had on their bingo card. The offense has been spectacular for Toronto all season long. I mean, Vlad Guerrero Jr., I think a 3-bagger away from going for the cycle, so he continued with some extra base knocks. Again, what I think it comes down to ultimately is bullpen and strength of bullpen. And when you take a look at the two teams on paper, Seattle's kind of got the advantage in that category. Couldn't find the pitching last night, but also credit those Toronto bats, man. I mean, they worked through, in the early part of that game, several long counts with just battles. And then to be able to come back and flex on that scoreline. So, interesting pitching matchup. Old man Max Scherzer going to take the bump tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, going up against Castillo, who has been absolutely brilliant for the Mariners. I expect Seattle to bounce back at home, and that was a stinker, right? Like for Seattle, you're going back home with a 2-0 lead, and you have all that atmosphere and all that electricity, and then you get shelled. 13-4. So Seattle's going to be hungry to bounce back.
So a couple of Major League Baseball games on tap for you today. There's also an NFL game tonight. Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati. The Bengals have kind of found a little bit of life with Joe Flacco. They had a little offense in the ball game last week. So Flacco comes in. He's guiding Cincinnati, and now they got a tough one at home against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. Kickoff at 7:15 on Prime. Do you expect
Thursday.
maybe Cincinnati to give Pittsburgh a little run tonight?
Thursday night football, man. Like, anything's possible. Yeah. I can't see Cincinnati being as bad as they are, and that's a division rivalry matchup. And Flacco now with another 4 days. What a poor way for Flacco. First of all, he gets instilled as the Browns quarterback, right? Turns around. Bengals quarterback, not Browns. Excuse me. Turns around, has like 3 days to prep for the Packers. And now, immediately, you think, okay, well, now he gets another week of practice. He gets another week to implement the offense. No, it's a short rest, so you're playing on a Thursday. But yeah, I expect Bengals to take the fight to Pittsburgh. Like Chief Endorf said, Pittsburgh's off to a great start, but at the same time, it's still early, and I think this is one of those still early games, and maybe Cincinnati finds a way to shake things up because, after all, it is a Thursday.
Flacco was the Cleveland quarterback before he got traded, of course, to Cincinnati. So you were partially right.
Trying to find the 12 degrees of Joe Flacco. He's played for just about everybody. So
it'll be Flacco against Aaron Rodgers tonight in the NFL game. That reminds me, the people that are left, and you can tell we've got 8 still left in our Survivor pool. You and I came out with our Survivor picks yesterday here on the show for week number 7. I'm on the Kansas City Chiefs this week in their ball game against the Las Vegas Raiders. You are kind of out on a limb, I think, on the New England Patriots.
I think there's going to be some followers. I think there's going to be some followers. But, yeah, I mean, Kansas City is probably the top choice on Survivor this week. But I think New England is a hot on the heels second.
Aren't they playing Tennessee?
Playing Tennessee.
All right, so those are our picks for Survivor week number 7, Kansas City and New England. The other 6 people that are in the Survivor pool with us, you got until 6 o'clock tonight to get your Survivor picks in for week number 7. This could be a turning point. I think you're right. I think the favorite for the Survivor pick this week is going to be Kansas City in their game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Are favored by, 12.5 points or something like that? 12 points against the Raiders. So that's going to be the favorites. You're over on New England, so we can have a couple of people fall off after this week. In fact, overall in Kansas City, you might be on the island by yourself. And the boss still says you can't win, so I don't know what we're going to do if you're the last one standing.
So, yeah, let's go there, right? 7 people pick Kansas City. I am on my island. I picked New England. Vegas beats Kansas City. I'm last man standing. Do you just, redo the week? Do you hit refresh?
Or do we have a Survivor Series for the second half of the season? Because we're not yet even halfway. We could do that. We could have a drawing for the remaining people that were. Of course, that wouldn't be fair to you. But we don't have to be fair to you.
You don't have to be fair to me. I'm the employee.
Well, we'll find out what happens after this week on our Survivor. I'm on Kansas City. You're on New England. We'll see what everybody else is on as they lock them in tonight. We'll kind of recap the weekend and see where everybody's standing on the show tomorrow. A couple of other things. The 1-game suspension of Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch was upheld upon appeal yesterday. Shocker. So the NFL suspended Branch for 1 game without pay for unsportsmanlike conduct after he struck Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster and set off that brief fight on Sunday night. So he appealed. He lost yesterday, so Branch will miss the Lions game on Monday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and will be eligible to return to the active roster the following day. So I thought that's the way that would go. Brian Branch given a 1-game suspension, fine, basically a game's paycheck. He appealed. He lost yesterday, so he'll sit out the Monday night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you go. News and notes that I need to pass along. I don't often like to do this, but I know he listens to the show, so we got to give credit where credit is due. And Little E, last night on the ice. Ouch, man. Take your foot off the gas.
You're going to bring it up because that was one of the last things that was said before I left the press box yesterday. It was Little E was sitting here. He said, tomorrow on the show, don't forget to bring up hockey.
Blackhawks and Blues, one of the oldest, best rivalries in the entire NHL. St. Louis got their ass kicked. 8-3.
By Little E's team.
By Little E's Little Blackhawks. The Little Blackhawks are becoming slightly more mature Hawks. They've been miserable the past several seasons. And, I mean, to that credit, St. Louis has only dabbled with some mediocre success, just inching their way into the playoffs a year ago. But it looked like men versus boys last night. Chicago could do anything and everything they wanted. Hofer was the backup goalie to Jordan Bennington. He's Swiss cheese, and he needs to go bye-bye. AHL or traded, whatever. We need to call up a backup goalie because Hofer was miserable last night. And Chicago looked great. An 8-3 victory. You don't see a 5-goal scoreline, a 5-goal margin in hockey very often. And last night was just an awful night to be a Blue.
It's the first week of the season. Give them a break.
It's 2-2. We don't have time for breaks. A margin to get into the wild card in the postseason after 84 games can sometimes be like 1 point, 1 overtime loss, 1 puck that didn't go into the net. If you're tied, it's goal differential. So every game's important. Game 4 is just as important as Game 84.
All right, so
fire the
St.
coach,
Louis
fire
Blues.
the goalie, fire
Oh,
the...
jeez. Oh, jeez, here we go. George Pickens, the wide receiver for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
He came over. He's on a 1-year contract. He could become a free agent at the end of the season. He doesn't know if he wants to stay in Dallas or not. He's off to a good start with the Cowboys, 32 catches, 525 yards. He has scored 6 touchdowns over the past 5 games. His 6 touchdowns are a career high, and if he scores again on Sunday against the Washington Commanders, he would become the first Dallas wideout with 6 straight games scoring touchdowns since Terrell Owens did it in 2007. So George Pickens, who came over in a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers last May, he's enjoying a great season, and I'm enjoying him on my fantasy football team this year. Pickens says he's going to play out this season and then see what happens with the rest of the roster and Jerry Jones and all the circus things that are going on down in Dallas. So he doesn't know if he'll be back for next season. He'd like to stay in Dallas, but he says he'll find out some other issues by the end of the year, and he'll decide if he wants to maybe look for a long-term contract there with the Cowboys, but certainly doing a great job this year. 32 catches, 525 yards, and 6 touchdowns for my starting wide receiver on my fantasy football team, and George Pickens.
There you go. We told you yesterday, speaking of NFL news, Alvin Kamara was one of the hotly talked about potential trade options from the New Orleans Saints, and some of the landing spots included your Kansas City Chiefs, which would only add to the firepower of that dynamic offense. Now in the news, we just got done praising Little League's Blackhawks, and so now a little dig at the JETS Jets that have not took off in the air yet. Trade rumors today starting to circulate around Breece Hall, the extremely talented running back, but with the Jets at a 0-6 start for first-year coach Aaron Glenn, the future is in jeopardy as we approach trade deadline day, which is coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, what's your favorite team in the NFL need right now? Yeah, what's Buffalo need, if anything, as they get ready for the trade deadline?
Defense.
They might need some defensive guys.
Defense.
The Chiefs looking at running backs. Do we really need one? Do the Chiefs really need?
Are you going to say no to Alvin Kamara?
If he wants to. No, if he wants to come over to Kansas City, we probably have a number for him. We probably have a number for him.
I was going to say, do you need a running back? Probably not, but more firepower for Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid to play around with? I'm thinking that you're going to take that every time.
Don't forget, Rashee Rice is back with the Chiefs this week, too. He comes off of that 6-game suspension. So,
Kansas City's they want to be in the point where they score 40, and they say to the other team, okay, there's our number. Do your best to get after it, and if you can get after 40, you can beat us.
Yeah, there's very few teams in the NFL that could maybe score 40 points. There's a few. But if the Chiefs score 40, you got Buffalo. They can score 40 at any time. Who else comes to mind?
Baltimore did before this year.
Not anymore.
Baltimore can't. Indy's probably a hard 35 at best.
So we're sitting at 2, Kansas City and Buffalo.
Another arms race, man. It's just another arms race for that Lamar Hunt trophy over in the AFC.
That's a good question. That's a good question that we just brought on. Who could score 40 points in the NFL?
If Kansas City goes out and gets all the weapons offensively, and they score 40 points a game, who's going to match that number? And I think the only thing that comes immediately to mind is Buffalo. Cincinnati, if they were healthy. Right?
But they're not.
Baltimore, if they're healthy.
But they're not. Boy, anything.
That's it.
Over on the other side,
Philly?
Maybe Philly. On a good day, they could hit 40 points.
Detroit on their good days.
Yeah, Detroit, but we shut them down.
Shut them down. It was ugly. That was a whipping.
Yeah, the Chiefs kicked the Lions' butt. That was good to see.
Washington, if they have everybody healthy, which they don't. They've been banged up in and out. They haven't put that lineup that they had last year during their playoff run together. So Washington could be in that mix.
Yeah, so watch Kansas City. We're sitting at, 3-3 right now? The wheels are not falling off of the cart yet. Don't hit the panic button yet. I told you the other day, if we beat the Lions, I'm going to back away from the panic button. If we would have lost to the Lions, I was just about ready to hit it. But I feel good again. Kansas City is going to be Kansas City. We're going to be there at the end. And the Buffalo Bills will probably have to handle Kansas City a couple of times this year if they want to advance.
When is that anticipated matchup?
We play them here in a couple of weeks.
I was going to say, that's right around the corner.
Yeah, we play them in a couple of weeks during the regular season. Chiefs always lose that game. We always win in the playoffs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you lose the Buffalo game in the regular season.
Everybody will get fired up, including you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you'll be in my face for the rest of the season because your Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs and we're going to the Super Bowl. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're still going to have to play Kansas City sometimes.
Oh, some people are starting to join you. I heard
there's a
voices
few
in the
people.
background.
Yeah, there's some people coming in.
Is there the treats, the candy, the big bag of candy?
We went through 2 bags yesterday.
Oh, geez, did Gino show up?
No, I OD'd. I OD'd on the candy yesterday.
Oh, well, yeah, you're waiting.
Yeah, I OD'd on the candy. Then I ran into my doctor last night.
Oh,
that was not good. Yeah, he was up here. So, yeah, that was not good. Well, Pete, we're going to have some more candy today. Yeah, we ate 2 bags full yesterday.
Well, that's what else are you supposed to do on a 3-hour rain delay?
Yeah, so Dennis has just chimed in. He says the Chiefs haven't scored 40 points yet. Well, that's because we haven't had our full team yet.
Exactly. You haven't had all the weapons.
You wait this week. I bet we score 40 this week.
Going up against Vegas.
I bet we score 40 against Vegas.
You've slipped up against Vegas in recent history.
No, but remember, Vegas I kind of like.
Yeah.
My second tier of teams in the NFL, I would put the Raiders in my second tier. I'd put the Dallas Cowboys in my second tier.
Sure.
So, but they're not playing well.
A weird mix of teams.
Yeah, it is.
Teams that can't stand each other, and you're like, yeah, I kind of like them all.
Well, that's the IT guy. He always says that I can't have another favorite team within the same division.
Oh, yeah.
I can't like the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Raiders on every week except when they play the Chiefs.
Yeah, your hierarchy of teams, you take your favorite team in their division and take all the other teams in that division, and they go to the very bottom tier. That's automatic. Like, I hate Patriots. Can't stand the Dolphins.
I'm not like you in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody that's in the same division is the St. Louis Cardinals that I hate and can't stand.
Screw the Brewers.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. I'm live at the Smith Complex this morning, getting ready for day number 2 of the State High School softball tournament. We'll talk more about that in the second half hour. If you'd like to chime in on the show, you can. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave us a message on the social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. Again, waking up with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:27.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Our top story this morning, the proposed hearing on regulations by the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission. This is a doozy. Strap in. Advocates expressing strong criticism yesterday at the hearing regarding the regulations that the proposed rules would effectively undermine the will of the voters by making the access overly restricted. The proposal bans refill orders, meaning patients would need a new doctor's visit every 30 days. Testifiers contending that it's cruel and a cynical tax on the sick and makes access expensive and burdensome. The rules would also prohibit sales of products that are smoked, vaped, combusted, or raw plant material. But banning flower is inconsistent with the ballot language which voters use to legalize medical cannabis, including possession of flower. Here's the kicker. None of the 3 Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission members attended the meeting. Testifiers saw their absence as disrespectful and a sign of disregard for public input. Some said that the hearing itself makes a loss of faith in the entire process of implementing the law. Before the proposed regulations can take effect, they must be approved by the Nebraska Attorney General and the Governor and then filed with the Secretary of State. Legal challenges are likely. The next meeting of the Medical Cannabis Commission is set for November 3rd. It is coming up on 7:30. We are swinging things now to the North Side Studios. What? Mike Will at the Bill Smith Softball Complex. Here's your check on sports.
Yeah, the Nebraska football team will play at Minnesota on Friday. The Golden Gophers own a 5-game winning streak in the series that dates back to 2019. Each of the past 4 Minnesota victories have been by 7 points or less, including a walk-off 13-10 victory in 2023. Kickoff with the game will be at 7. You'll be able to see it on Fox. The Nebraska women's soccer team will play at USC tonight. Huskers are 7-3-5 on the season, 2-3-3 in the conference. Game time will be at 9. Hastings College women's soccer team lost to the College of St. Mary's 1-0 yesterday in Omaha. The Broncos are now 9-3-2 in the season, 4-2-1 in the conference. Hastings will play at Northwestern on Saturday. Hastings College volleyball team, they lost to Concordia last night, 14-25, 16-25, and 18-25. McKenna Suter and Carissa Dowdy had 6 kills apiece for the Broncos. Hastings is now 5-16 in the season, 2-9 in the conference. They'll play at Northwestern on Saturday. Hastings College football team will play host to Concordia on Saturday at Lloyd Wilson Field. The Broncos are 3-3 in the season. The Bulldogs are 4-1. Concordia has an explosive offense. They're averaging 44 points per game and 438 yards per game. Kickoff will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Pigskin preview begins at noon on Extreme Sports. Hastings College women's wrestling team has been picked by the league's coaches to finish second this year in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Doane was first in the preseason poll and Midland was third. Hastings College men were picked to finish fifth. Doane was first, followed by Morningside, Concordia, and Northwestern. Hastings St. Cecilia went 2-0 in the opening day of the state high school softball tournament. The Hawkettes beat Freeman 3-0 before shutting out Utan Meade 2-0 last night. St. Cecilia will play at 7 tonight. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports beginning with a pregame at about 6:50. Beatrice beat Hastings High yesterday by a score of 12-5. The Tigers will play Waverly in the elimination game at 9 this morning. We'll have the game here on Extreme Sports beginning at about 8:50 this morning. The undefeated teams in the tournament after the first day include Millard North and Lincoln Southwest in Class A, Northwest and Beatrice in Class B, and St. Cecilia and Bishop Newman in Class C. High school football coming up tonight. Grand Island will play at Bellevue East. Axtell is at Franklin, and Lawrence Nelson is at Giltner. Tomorrow night, Hastings High will play host to Lexington. Adams Central is at Lincoln Christian, and St. Cecilia is at Donovan Trumbull. In the NFL tonight, Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati. Kickoff will be at 7:15 on Prime. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:32 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Thursday brings a breezy, warm, and sunny day with a high of 80 degrees. We'll see stronger southerly winds 15 to 20 with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Tonight we bring in a chance of showers, an overnight low of 56 degrees. On Friday, plenty of sunshine once again and a high of 75. 48 overnight Friday night to Saturday and clear. And the weekend brings temperatures back in the 60s with mostly sunny skies.
So going to be a breezy day here today at the state softball tournament. We've got south winds already at 14 miles per hour. It is clear, some high clouds at 62 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Join us at Maletivist Winery for The Day the Internet Died, a hilarious mystery dinner that you become a part of. Hey, this is Mick inviting you to get your tickets for 2 unforgettable nights, October 18th and November 8th. Gather your friends, enjoy a great meal, crack the case before dessert. Seating is limited, so get your tickets today at MaletivistWinery.com, and don't miss the mystery that everyone will be talking about, The Day the Internet Died. Get your tickets online at MaletivistWinery.com, St. Paul, Nebraska.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Wills, Eisen and Veronica with you. It's a huddle up for a Thursday here on Extreme Sports. Again, thanks for joining us. If you'd like to join in the conversation, you can. Dial us up, 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave us a message on the social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. Lots of people in the lobby joining us here at the breakfast table here this morning, 7:36. Matt Rule is still our head coach. Didn't hear a lot yesterday. Of course, I was involved out here, so right. I was periodically checking the social media sites to make sure something big was not happening. Really nothing in that circle yesterday that's a pop worth of noting here on the show this morning.
No, just, I mean, if you're paying attention to the Husker fan pages right now, it's wild, with some fans diving deep into the contract, trying to figure out anything and everything to see if this move would even be remotely possible following the season. And I'm just like, guys, just let's relax and watch football Friday. Like, let's not worry about all of these things, distractions. The football team's not worried about the distractions. We shouldn't as a fan base be either. And he said it best, I think, in the opening comments when he came out and said, this is what happens when you have winning programs. And we haven't been used to it for quite a while because we haven't been winning. So nobody's been calling on our coaches. Nobody was calling for Mike Riley after hip hip hooray was shouted in the locker room following our only win of the season 13 years ago or whatever, how many years ago that was. It's what happens when you win, and other programs have to deal with it and experience it. And any time that you have even a moniker of success, you look over at Lane Kiffin. Hell, 2 weeks ago he could have gone anywhere he wanted according to social media and all the jobs that were going to be open. Lane Kiffin then follows it up with a loss the following week, and his name disappears. The name that continues to surprise me, that's continuing to be circulated, and I have no idea why, given the recent run of success at the Division I level in a far less superior conference like the Big 12, the prime name continues to make me scratch my head.
Dion.
What's he done? What's he done at Colorado that would give Penn State excitement other than put eyeballs on campus? Other than put eyeballs on the campus, what has he done that Penn State Nittany Lion fans would be like, oh yeah, we need Prime?
I can't even visualize that.
No.
I can't visualize Prime being on the sidelines of Penn State. And all the tradition, kind of the old style football tradition there at Penn State, and then you bring in Prime. I can't see that happening.
It would upset like the Penn State
old people.
Yeah. I was trying to find a better way to say that.
I know. Just go ahead and spit it out. Just go ahead and spit it out.
It would upset the old asses.
You're going to piss off the old people there at Penn State if you bring in Prime. Just lay it out there like you're supposed to.
Right. I was trying to sugarcoat it.
I know.
Because we do have a certain population that listens to this show that is in that category.
In the G-rated category.
Oh, no. In the old-ass category.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of people in that category. Anyway, we might as well hear from Matt Rule, who's the current coach of the Nebraska football team. This trip to Minnesota, and I guess I really never thought about this until this morning. This is his first repeat trip to a Big Ten venue.
What?
Yeah, this is his first repeat trip to a Big Ten venue that he's going to play for a second time. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a good stat, but I didn't know that. And I sit there and listen to it again. I said, what? He's going back to Minnesota for the second time. This is his first repeat trip in the Big Ten. So, anyway, they asked him about that at yesterday's news gathering.
Well, it was an elite environment. They had a gold out. The crowd was electric. So we practiced all week with insane crowd noise to be prepared for it. And we're counting on Husker Nation to show up and even out the volume to a degree. But there'll become a time like last game where silent cadence down inside the 10 where it's just what it is in the Big Ten and big time football. And we prepared since camp, so we do silent all the time, but we've done silent this week as well, so we'll be ready if needed. The rest of it, it's kind of once the game gets started, who blocks and tackles better.
And again, Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson returning to Minnesota, returning home, so to speak, to face the Golden Gophers this Friday. And the coach says he's excited for Emmett.
He's a guy that, could easily be a captain for us based on the voting, and so and he'll be a captain next year. So just excited for him to have a chance to go back home, play in front of those people. I think our Friday walkthrough will be at his high school, which I think is really cool. And my only thing to him has been just keep it football. Don't get too high, don't get too low, stay neutral, and just play each play the way Emmett's capable of. And if you look at the last two games, when it comes to carries with all of our backs, not scrambles and things like that, but carries, we're averaging 7.1 yards a carry versus an excellent run defense. So we'll need Emmett to be at his best.
Now, Nebraska has started the season 5-1 for the second straight season, and the coach says he hopes his team will handle it better this year.
Yeah, I don't know that we didn't even handle it well last year. I just think Indiana was better than us. I think Ohio State was better than us, and I think that then did it. I think we've worked very hard this year on embracing the pressure and the challenge of things, playing each team as a nameless, faceless opponent, and studying them like we study them, like we know all the great things about Minnesota. This is a team that I told the team today. This is a team that I highly respect. They have a great brand. Coach Fleck preaches row the boat and all that. They believe in that and they play that way. They've gotten down the last two games and they've come right back, just like us. So it's just about playing this team and playing this game and blocking everything else. So, but I think the biggest thing is that we're just a better team than we were last year. Our players are better. They're playing better. We're playing more complimentary. But nothing that happened the first 6 weeks carries over to this week. So it'll be about what we do this week versus them.
And the Huskers will be facing a young, very talented quarterback in Minnesota's Malik Washington this Friday night. He's thrown for 1,506 yards and 10 touchdowns so far this year.
I think the thing with the quarterback we're facing this week is he's got a big-time arm. You go back to high school. I studied when they're freshman quarterbacks. I watch their high school film and watch everything. A guy can throw the ball 80 yards. He can make every single throw. He's going to throw the ball up for 50-50 catches. It'll be their wideouts versus our DBs down the field. And so he's not necessarily a guy who can move, but he's a gamer. When I say move, he's not a guy who's going to run and kind of like the young man from Michigan State, Michigan or Maryland. But he's going to get the ball out. He plays really fast with his brain, makes a bunch of really good pre-snap checks. We'll have to hold our disguises inside of 15 seconds because that way they can't. Young quarterbacks you like to talk to, we don't talk to Dylan. We don't say, hey, it looks like it's one high. Dylan's being trained. We're training Dylan to be an NFL quarterback. We don't steal signals and say, hey, they're in this coverage. We don't tell them the coverage. It's up to Dylan to recognize the keys each week. And so when we face a freshman quarterback, it's always about, hey, can you disguise inside of 15 seconds? We anticipate most teams that go against us go tempo. We have to knock out the tempo. And I think the biggest thing when you face a young quarterback is you got to stop the run so that they don't have a run game to get to. And really one run, outside zone, has been the one run that's hurt us. Outside zone and quarterback draw are the runs that have hurt us. They're an outside zone team. So we have to do a great job versus their outside zone to turn it into one-dimensional, just like every team does. And but don't minimize the fact that this is like a young star, and he's playing really well. And he's not even a freshman anymore, really redshirt freshman. He's played 6 games. So they'll have him ready.
All right, that's Husker head coach Matt Rule. His final thoughts before they depart for Minneapolis. And the Huskers will be playing in Minnesota on a Friday night this week. 7 o'clock starting time. You'll be able to see it on Fox.
I know we don't have a good history against Minnesota. Also, we're not calling them all whites, by the way. Let's start there with the jerseys. Because I'm done. I'm done with this. Oh my God! Why are we tempting fate? Why are we wearing our all whites? We're gonna call them ice out jerseys. We're gonna change the name. They're way too clean not to wear. I mean, they are the best uniform combination that Nebraska has, even better than the scarlet and cream. Our icy whites, ice out jerseys, whatever you want to call them. Every time we use the word all whites, shit goes south. So we're done with that name. We're scrapping it. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Here's the other thing. Like, you keep talking about the talented Minnesota roster, and they've been able to bounce back and get back in games. Their wins. A touchdown victory against an anemic Purdue offense, and you win by 7. Ooh, oh boy. You got blown out by Ohio State. Blown out. 38-point victory for the Buckeyes. They're going to do that to a lot of teams. But that's concerning, considering we want to be a championship-caliber team. They scored 3 points. They had a 3-point victory against Rutgers in New Jersey. Lost by double digits to Cal. Squeaked out a win against Buffalo. Their box scores don't correlate with the amount of hype that they have gotten in this week in preparation for game week. This is a team, Mike, to me, that needs to be dominated from Nebraska football. We need to dominate them. They have a freshman quarterback. Let's make his life a living hell back there. Let's let him know what it's like to play a Big Ten defense. We need to flex defensively. We need to disguise blitz packages. We need to put pressure on the quarterback and put his ass on the ground when we get in the backfield. We haven't done a good enough job of that. We get penetration, we get in the backfield, we scare him a little bit, but we're not bringing these guys down. We need to set his ass in the grass. Get a good defensive performance. Continue to, as we did last week, run the damn ball.
I knew that was coming.
And we're going to dominate the time of possession game. We're going to put drives together. I expect this to be a double-digit victory, if not 3 scores for Nebraska.
Yeah, the point spread went up yesterday.
Yep. And
Nebraska is heavily favored in the ball game against Minnesota.
Let's play like it.
Yeah, let's play like we're the favorites in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the latest from the Husker camp. Again, they'll have a walkthrough tomorrow. And, of course, the game is coming up on a Friday night this week, which leaves your Saturday open. Watch some other college football on Saturday.
Good.
All right. We've got the sun starting to come up here at the Smith Complex.
7:47, told you.
Yeah, the lights are on. Hastings High going through some workouts across the way. Waverly doing the same thing. They're going to be matched up in our first game today at 9. That's the elimination game in Class B. Waverly, of course, beat Hastings High during the regular season. Beat them fairly easily late in the year. Yep. And then Waverly beats Hastings twice last week in the district tournament. So Waverly has won 3 games over Hastings High this year. And now they play at 9 this morning. The loser is done for the year. And the winner is going to move on and play Blair at 2 o'clock this afternoon in another elimination game. So once you drop back down to the losers bracket, the consolation round, it's a long way back. So you just concentrate on one game, you win and you move on. So Hastings will play Waverly. If they win, they'll play Blair at 2 this afternoon. On the road, a little easier for Hastings St. Cecilia. The Hawkins, they went 2-0 yesterday with wins over Freeman and UTAN Meade. And now they'll just wait and hang around till 7 tonight. Freeman is going to play Centura at 11:30 in an elimination game in Class C. The winner will then face Kearney Catholic at 2, and the winner of that game will move on to play Hastings St. Cecilia tonight at 7. And will have to beat St. Cecilia twice in order to move into the championship games. Remember, all the championship games are going to be played on Monday at Bolin Stadium in Omaha. So Friday is the if necessary day in each little pod of each division here. So that's the way things are set up here in 2025.
Just win, baby. Just win.
Yeah, just win.
And they're going to be catching a team on some pretty tired legs at that point as you work your way up through the consolation ladder. I've always said it, and I've seen teams do it. And it's been special when it happens. Teams that lose on day one and work their way all the way through the consolation ladder. And you're thinking there's not a chance in hell. Just because the odds are so heavily stacked against you. And I've seen teams work their way all through the consolation ladder, win the game, win the if-necessary game, and play for a state title. But take a look at Hastings' case. You draw Waverly. Coach speak is it's tough to beat a team twice. What about 4 times? So you're drawing Waverly, which has been a thorn in your side all season. If you win, the consolation prize for winning that game is a state powerhouse in Blair, which I was surprised at that scoreline yesterday. I was surprised with how easily Northwest handled Blair and dropped them into the elimination game.
That was a tight game early. In fact, it was a tight game until the mid-innings, and Northwest I think they got a home run in there, and they piled up a big victory over Blair last night. So Blair drops out of the consolation ladder, so to speak. They'll get the winner of the Hastings-Waverly game at 2 this afternoon. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. It is 7:52.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Our top story this morning takes us to a hearing on the proposed regulations by the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission that was held yesterday, where advocates showed up in force, expressing strong criticism that the proposed rules would effectively undermine the will of the voters by making access overly restricted. The proposal bans refill orders, meaning patients would need a new doctor's visit every 30 days, which testifiers contended as cruel and a cynical tax on the sick, making access expensive and more burdensome. The rules would also prohibit sales of products that are smoked, vaped, combusted, or raw plant material, but banning flower is inconsistent with the ballot language which voters use to legalize medical cannabis, including possession of flower. The thing that aggravated the advocates the most at a hearing on the proposed rules from the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission, none of the 3 Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission members even bothered to show up to the hearing. Testifiers seeing their absence as disrespectful and a sign of disregard for public input. Some saying the hearing itself making a total mockery and a loss of faith in the entire process of implementing the law. Before the proposed regulations can take effect, they must be approved by the Nebraska Attorney General and the Governor, and then filed with the Secretary of State. Legal challenges, 99.9%. They're highly likely in this scenario. The next meeting of the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission is set for November 3rd. Grab the popcorn. 7:54. Time for Check on Sports. We head over to the Bill Smith Softball Complex, live on location. Mr. Mike Will.
Yeah, Hastings St. Cecilia went 2-0 the opening day of the state softball tournament. The Hawkettes beating Freeman 3-0 yesterday before shutting out Utan Meade in a late game last night, 2-0. St. Cecilia will play at 7 tonight. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame at about 6:50. Beatrice beat Hastings High 12-5 yesterday. Tigers will play Waverly in the elimination game at 9 this morning. We'll have the game here on Extreme Sports beginning at about 8:50. The undefeated teams in the tournament include Millard North and Lincoln Southwest in Class A, Northwest and Beatrice in Class B, and St. Cecilia and Bishop Newman in Class C. High school football tonight. Grand Island will play at Bellevue East. Axtell is at Franklin. Lawrence Nelson is at Giltner. Tomorrow night, Hastings High will play host to Lexington. Adams Central is at Lincoln Christian, and St. Cecilia is at Donovan Trumbull. In the NFL tonight, Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati. Kickoff at 7:15 on Prime. In the Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday, Toronto beat Seattle 13-4. The Mariners still lead the series 2-1. Game 4 is tonight in Seattle. The National League Championship Series will resume tonight in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host Milwaukee. LA leads the series 2-0. In the college volleyball from last night, Hastings losing to Concordia 14-25, 16-25, and 18-25. McKenna Suter and Carissa Dowdy had 6 kills apiece for the Broncos. Hastings now 5-16 in the season, 2-9 in the conference. They'll play at Northwestern on Saturday. What else is going on? The Hastings women's soccer team lost to the College of St. Mary's yesterday, 1-0 in Omaha. The Broncos now 9-3-2 in the season, 4-2-1 in the conference. Hastings will play at Northwestern on Saturday. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:56 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Thursday brings a breezy, warm, and sunny day with a high of 80 degrees. We'll see stronger southerly winds 15-20 with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Tonight we bring in a chance of showers, an overnight low of 56 degrees. On Friday, plenty of sunshine once again and a high of 75. 48 overnight Friday night to Saturday and clear. And the weekend brings temperatures back in the 60s with mostly sunny skies.
As you wake up and get going this morning, we've got south winds at 14. We've got partly sunny skies, and it's now 62 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Rollins Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at
All right, Mike Wells, Eisen Bronick with you on this Thursday morning, the 16th of October for 2025. Again, we've got softball coming up today here on Extreme Sports. In fact, in just a little bit, about an hour away, Hastings High will take on Waverly in the Class B elimination ball game. On the air with a pregame at about 8:50 this morning. And then tonight, Hastings St. Cecilia will play in their ball game at 7 this evening. The Hawkettes going 2-0 yesterday, so they'll wait and see who comes out of the consolation ladder, and they'll play them at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have that game for you as well here on Extreme Sports beginning at 6:50. No rain in the forecast today, so we should be a better day today. Going to be a bit on the breezy side if you're coming out to the action today. Going to be a bit on the breezy side with winds gusting to around 30 miles per hour. But it's going to be nice. You know, a lot of people are talking about it's been some time. They can't remember the last time we had the weather like we had yesterday with temps in the upper 70s, lower 80s for state softball. Many times I spent this week in like a winter coat.
2020 was a perfect example when we had to go outside and distance. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was the COVID year. We had to sit outside.
And you had the wind at 35 miles an hour on a cold Nebraska October afternoon, and it was blowing directly into your guys' face. I felt so bad for you. We were on the other side in direct sunlight, completely protected from the wind, because that's the way the Bill Smith Softball Complex works. I was basking in the sunlight in shorts, and you and Gino looked like you were in Antarctica.
Oh, it was cold. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, that was awful cold. Speaking of, and I'm trying to visualize it. Is it Field 4?
Yeah, we're on Field 4 today. At least for this first game.
With winds out of the south.
Winds out of the south.
That would put the wind at your back, right? So you're going to have a home run derby on 4?
You know me in directions.
I'm the same way. So I was hoping a blind could lead a blind.
Let's see if they're blowing out of the south. I think they're going to be blowing to the left field corner. Is that right, Baker? Yeah, Troy's there. He's helping with my directions.
He knows.
Yeah, so we're going to be blowing to the left field corner today.
Okay. Left field corner.
Yeah. We're on Field 4.
The Mother Nature element, the wind aspect, it's truly what makes the Bill Smith Softball Complex. Because you can have, whatever way the wind's blowing, you could have 4 different games taking place. Literally 4 different games. You have a pitching and defense duel if the wind's blowing in, wind's blowing at your back. It's going to be a home run derby. Across the field, it plays havoc in the outfield and trying to track fly balls. It could be chaos day.
So find out what happens again. Hastings High playing at 9 o'clock this morning on the air at 8:50 for the pregame. Tomorrow on the show, it's Friday, and you know what that means.
How are you making? Are you giving responsibilities to Baker and Little E to make picks for you? Because you got games all day. When are you going to squeeze in a window to find 5 winners?
No, I've got a game at 9, and if Hastings High doesn't win, I don't have a game until 7.
Well, if Hastings High, we're hoping Hastings High wins so you can continue to have some softball.
If not, I'll do it out here.
Right.
If they lose, I'll have a few hours off. The bad thing is I've got a primo parking place, right outside the front gate. I was the first one here.
You
today.
Didn't stay all day.
No, but it looks like I did. I've got a primo parking place right outside the front gate, and the bad thing is if I leave, I'm not going to get that back.
You actually, what you could do if you have to leave, go out to the crowd and sell it.
Sell my spot.
Sell your spot. Say what kind of car you're driving, swing around.
Yeah, I hate
Make
to
a little
give that
cash.
up. Right outside the front gate.
Yep. No, I got that. So last year when we did the show live from the complex, we had the same Primo parking spots. And I intentionally stayed at the complex because I'm like, I'm not giving up that parking spot. I'm not walking a mile.
I've got some stuff to do, though. I still got to get ready for football on Saturday. So I got some stuff to do.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll just have to give up that spot. A little Lee just showed up. He's got a big grin on his face.
Uh-huh. You're going to have some help with the Blazing 5. You got Baker, you got Little E, you got Theo.
Maybe I'll just let all those guys make my Blazing 5 picks this week. God, I've been god-awful for 2 weeks. I have been. I've been 1-4 in the Blazing 5 the last 2 weeks.
Ouch.
God, that's awful. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. We'll try to turn it around. That's on the show tomorrow, the Blazing 5.
Tell all the softball guys hi for me. And
I will.
Yeah. Have another great day at the complex. Again, no rain in the forecast today, so no delays.
Hopefully we stay on schedule. Stay on schedule. All right, if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can go to our podcast section, go to any one of our social media sites, download the podcast, and listen to the show again. Or if you missed parts of the show, you can listen to it again. Reminder, you can join us for softball coming up at 8:50 this morning at Hastings High and Waverly. We'll talk to you then. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.